During the tense, secretive days of the Cold War, submarine technology advanced rapidly as the Americans and Soviets pushed each other in a continuous race for naval supremacy. Even though the silent service was already discreet, many American developments remain classified to this day, and the U.S. Navy has been particularly guarded about the Seawolf class, originally intended as the most advanced undersea attack vessels. The program was curtailed when the Cold War ended and the threat from high-tech Soviet submarines evaporated. Yet the youngest sister in the class, the infamous USS Jimmy Carter, carried on that lineage and became one of the Pentagon's stealthiest spy vessels, so secretive that the Navy has barely acknowledged her special capabilities beyond basic submarine roles. The cover, however, is thin. Several pieces of evidence point to Jimmy Carter's crucial role in more dangerous and mysterious missions. In early 2013, she sailed from her home port in Washington and reappeared, roughly 2 months later, after a mysterious operation that earned the boat a Presidential Unit Citation. And both experts and the public have tried to piece together the true nature of that mission by assembling available clues. Design work for a new submarine to succeed the Los Angeles class began in 1983, and the Seawolf, a nuclear-powered fast-attack design, was conceived to counter increasingly advanced Soviet ballistic missile submarines. Built for deep-ocean operations, the Seawolf's hull used high-100 steel stronger than the HY-80 used, previously allowing it to withstand greater water pressure at depth. Larger, faster, and significantly quieter than its predecessor, the Seawolf carried a broader array of weapons and twice as many torpedo tubes for its Mk-48 torpedoes, and the boats could also carry up to 50 UGM-109 Tomahawk cruise missiles for strikes against land and surface targets, equipped for both deep and shallow water operations. The class featured an advanced combat system and upgraded Archie-modified and BYG-2. Paired with an enhanced spherical sonar array, a wide aperture array, and a new towed array sonar. Power came from an S6W nuclear reactor, producing about 45,000 horsepower that drove a low-noise pump-jet propulsion system. The Seawolf's sophistication came at a steep price, at roughly $3 billion per boat. It became the most expensive nuclear-powered attack submarine and the second most expensive submarine in history, surpassed only by France's Triomphant-class ballistic missile submarines. The original plan called for 29 submarines to be built over a decade, but that number was reduced to 12 and then cut further as the Cold War ended and budgets tightened. Only 3 Seawolf-class submarines were ever built. The first 2, Seawolf and Connecticut, were launched and commissioned in the late 1990s, while the third, Jimmy Carter, did not enter the water until the 2000s. The 3 sisters were later grouped as the core of Submarine Development Squadron 5, which tests contemporary underwater listening gear and remote control submersibles, tethered, and develops innovative Arctic tactics to exploit the region's unique conditions that can help underwater vessels hide from adversaries. Officially, the unit is not recorded as an intelligence collection organization, but it's not uncommon for the Navy to use innocuous designations for special or elite groups. After costing roughly $3.5 billion and undergoing several modifications to support a unique role, USS Jimmy Carter became part of a special subclass 1 that likely makes her the Pentagon's stealthiest spy submarine. In the summer of 1996, General Dynamics Electric Boat was awarded the contract to build the third Seawolf, but extensive modifications during construction set Jimmy Carter apart from the original class and made her essentially one of a kind. She was named for the 39th President of the United States, who was notably the only president to have qualified on submarines. And Jimmy Carter is also the only submarine named after a living president and remains one of the few U.S. naval vessels bearing the name of a living person. Her keel was laid in late 1998, and her commissioning was initially scheduled for late 2001 or early 2002. But during construction, Electric Boat received an $887 million contract extension to enhance the submarine and test new systems so she could perform unique, classified missions similar to those once carried out by the distinguished USS. Jimmy Carter's hull was lengthened by about 100 feet to accommodate a 2,500-tune supplemental module, and that hourglass-shaped midsection created a multi-mission platform, MMP, that not only allowed for a wider range of operations but also fueled speculation about its true purpose. The expanded midsection contains an ocean interface for divers and remotely operated vehicles, ROV handling systems, storage and deployment space for mission systems, and a pressure-resistant passage connecting the forward and aft sections for crew movement. Beyond enabling the launch and recovery of ROVs and Navy SEALs, observers have suggested the platform may serve additional covert functions. Sherry Sontag and Christopher Drew argued in Blind Man's Bluff that the enlarged midsection could house equipment similar to that on USS, and intelligence experts have speculated the space might also be used as an underwater splicing chamber to tap undersea fiber optic cables. Jimmy Carter was also fitted with custom thrusters to stabilize the boat over a target and hold position in strong currents. enabling precise maneuvering while planting listening devices on the ocean floor. The submarine was christened on June 5, 2004, by former First Lady Rosalind Carter, completed Alpha Sea trials in November. An electric boat delivered the vessel to the U.S. Navy. The following month, she was commissioned in February 2005, 6 years after her older sister and shortly after the first Virginia-class boat entered service. Despite her late arrival, the modifications Jimmy Carter underwent ensured a more secretive and intriguing career than most submarines. Publicly, the Navy acknowledges only her drone and ROV deployment capabilities, but the available evidence strongly suggests she has served in much more clandestine and consequential roles. In early 2013, the 150 crew members aboard Jimmy Carter left their home port and sailed for about 2 months from Bangor, Washington, to Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. Whatever the mission was, it earned the vessel a repair intermission and a Presidential Unit Citation. Each year, units on land, air, and sea submit a historical report to the Naval History and Heritage Command. But there is no requirement to include specific details. The ship's official annual history refers to the event only as Mission 7, though the document notes it performed under a wide range of adverse and extremely stressful conditions without external support, and that the deployment continued USS Jimmy Carter's tradition of excellence in pursuit of vital national security goals. The citation itself calls for extraordinary heroism in action against an armed enemy, yet public discussion of the mission received about as much attention as a summer picnic or a cruise Halloween party. The Navy has been circumspect. The Secretary of the Navy described the crew's actions merely as extremely difficult and hazardous. Adding to the mystery, the task was carried out alongside sailors from the even more secretive detachment Undersea Research and Development. According to the memo, both units successfully completed extremely demanding and arduous independent submarine operations of vital importance to the national security of the United States and overcame numerous obstacles to safely execute these demanding and complex tasks without incident. 2. Photos attached to the report, obtained through the Freedom of Information Act by the War is Boring platform, show Captain Brian Elkowitz and other officers holding the framed citation. In both images, one individual's face has been blacked out. Most analysts believe Jimmy Carter has taken over missions once performed by USS, specifically tapping undersea fiber optic communications, much as Parche tapped obsolete Soviet copper lines. Yet because the Navy treats the Seawolf family so clandestinely, the younger sister's records read more like rumor than a verified dossier of activity. Authors Sherry Sontag and Christopher Drew published Blind Man's Bluff before Jimmy Carter was finished, and since then, the Navy and its partners have had ample time to refine the boat further. When General Dynamics was still assembling the submarine, in 2001, NSA Director Lt. Gen. Michael Hayden publicly laughed off cable tapping rumors in an interview with the Wall Street Journal, then refused further comment, saying, "I'm not going to sit here and dissuade you from your views." 2 decades and an apparently active service later, little more has been revealed about Jimmy Carter or her missions. When she finally returned to her home port in 2017, she flew the Jolly Roger alongside the Stars and Stripes, a naval tradition signaling successful completion of a mission. It may still take a long time, perhaps a generation, before the public learns what that mission actually was. Asterisk.